Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 5, chapter 17, text 21. Yamahurasya sthiti janma samyamam
Yama asurasya sthiti janma samyamam
Tribhir vihinam yamanantam rishya
Tribhir vibhinam yama anantam rishya
Naveda siddhartham iva kvachit sthitam
Naved siddhartham iva kavachit sthitam
Bhumandalamurda sahasradhamsu.
Bhumandalam murdha sahasradhamsu.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Lord Shiva continued, all the great sages accept the Lord as the source of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Although, he has actually nothing to do with these activities. Therefore, the Lord is called unlimited. Although the Lord in his incarnation as Shesh holds all the universes on his hoods, each universe feels no heavier than a mustard seed to him. Therefore, what person desiring perfection will not worship the Lord? So Lord Shiva has been glorifying Lord Sankarshan. The incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Shesh or Ananta, has unlimited strength, fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. As described in this verse, Ananta's strength is so great that the innumerable universes rest on his hoods. He has the bodily features of a snake with thousands of hoods, and since his strength is unlimited, all the universes resting on his hoods feel no heavier than mustard seeds. We can just imagine how insignificant a mustard seed is on the hood of a serpent. So, we may think, oh, the Lord is carrying the universe on his head, he's maintaining this universe. So we may think, oh, the Lord is really old, wrinkled, bent. The universe is so heavy, and so he's like crumpled. No, but we can see that here Ananta Shesh on his innumerable hoods, he's holding innumerable universes, and they're just like mustard seeds. In this connection, the readers refer to Sri Caitaniya Caritamita, Adi Leela, chapter 5, verses 117 to 125. There, it is stated that Lord Vishnu's incarnation as the serpentine Ananta Shesh, Nag, supports all the universes on his hoods. By our calculation, a universe may be very, very heavy. But because the Lord is Ananta, unlimited, he feels the weight to be no heavier than a mustard seed. We may think, oh, how he can carry, but because he's unlimited, he's the Supreme Lord himself. Just as we may try to think that, oh, the earth itself, the whole planet Earth, how heavy it would be, all so many human beings, so much mountains, ocean, like what's the weight of the earth? And yet it can float in the sky, in the space, right? It can float. So for Ananta Shesh, it's not a big deal to hold the universes on his hoods, just like mustard seeds. Asyadyased gunavigraho mahan
Yasya adha asid gunavigraho mahan
Vijnanadishyo Bhagavan Ajakil
Vigyan diksho bhagwan ajakil
Yat Sambhavoham Tritirit Tasvate Jasa
Yat sambhavo aham trivret swatejasa
Vaikarikam tamasam indriyam srije.
वैकारिकं तामसम् इन्द्रियं सृजे
Ete vayam yasya vase mahatmana.
एते वयं यस्वशे महात्मनः
Stita shakunta iva sutrayantrita.
स्थिता शकुन्ता इव सूत्रयान्त्रिता
Mahan aham ve kritam
महान् अहं कृततामस् इन्द्रिया
Srijam sarve yadanugrahatidam.
सृजाम सर्वे यतनुग्रहात् इदम्
From that Supreme Personality of Godhead appears Lord Brahma, whose body is made from the total material energy, the reservoir of intelligence predominated by the passionate mode of material nature. From Lord Brahma, I myself am born as a representation of false ego known as Rudra. By my own power, I create all the other demigods and the five elements and the senses. Therefore, I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than any of us, and under whose control are situated all the demigods, material elements, and senses, and even Lord Brahma and myself, like birds bound by a rope. Only by the Lord's grace can we create, maintain, and annihilate the material world. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Being. So, this is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 17, text 22 and 23, where Lord Shiva is speaking of his own position and the position of the Supreme Lord Krishna, and that Krishna, Lord Sankarshan, is his supremely worshipable deity. A summary of creation is given in this verse. From Sankarshan, Mahavishnu expands, and from Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu expands. Lord Brahma was born from Garbhodakshai Vishnu, father's Lord Shiva, from whom all the other demigods gradually evolved. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu are incarnations of the different material qualities. Lord Vishnu is actually above all material qualities, but he accepts control of Sattva-gun, the mode of goodness, to maintain the universe. So Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they are the guna avatars. Lord Sankarshan, he expands as Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu lies down on Karana ocean. From his breathing come so many universes. He enters every universe as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. From the navel of this Garbhodakshai Vishnu comes a lotus flower, and Lord Brahma sits on this flower. Lord Brahma is created. Then Lord Brahma creates Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, he comes from Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is coming from Lord Vishnu himself. So Lord Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. So they are the controllers of the modes of nature. Lord Vishnu, actually, he's above all the modes. He's above Sattva, Tamo, and Rajogun. But he accepts the control of the mode of goodness. It doesn't mean that because he is in charge of the control of mode of goodness that he's bound by this. No, just like Lord Shiva, he's controlling the mode of ignorance. Doesn't mean he is in the mode of ignorance. Lord Shiva is the greatest devotee. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. So they are accepting the control of these modes. Lord Brahma is born from the Mahatattva. Brahma creates the entire universe. Lord Vishnu maintains it, and Lord Shiva annihilates it. The Supreme Personality of Godhead controls all the most important demigods, especially Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, exactly as the owner of a bird controls it by binding it with a rope. Sometimes vultures are controlled in this way. So we can see that the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, he is the controller, maintainer, and annihilator of the universe. And the principal demigods are Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. And Lord Vishnu is controlling the entire universe through these two demigods. So we can see like how there's a CEO of a corporation, the boss of the corporation. Now, he's not going to speak to every worker in his corporation. He has maybe 10,000 workers. So he speaks to his topmost, the vice president, or, just his topmost people. And through them, he's controlling the entire organization. Similarly, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, he's controlling Brahma and Lord Shiva directly, and through them, he's controlling the entire universe. Yeah, he's like delegates. We human beings also delegate, right? We may not, we may be like in charge of a certain number of people, and then they are controlling other people like that. Is that okay?
Yeah, so I'm
Any
just
comment?
no, I'm just trying to recalculate this, that we were reading about the Ganga ji, right? In the Elaborate, how the Ganga ji flows and her
Yes.
passage,
Yes.
right? This is the chapter. And in that it
Yes.
came that how Shivji, right?
Yes.
And then now we are studying in connection with more about Shivji, that
Yes. His prayers.
who he is,
Yes.
his prayers, and actually, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yanirmitam karhyapi api karma parvanim
यत निर्मित्यतां करहि अपि कर्म पर्वणि
mayam janoyam gunasargamohita
मायां जनो अयं गुणसर्गमोहित
navid nistaran yogam anjasa
न वेद निस्तारण योगम अज्जसा
tasmai namaste vidyodya yatmane.
तस्मै नमोस्ते विल उदय आत्मने.
The illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead binds all of us conditioned souls to this material world. Therefore, without being favored by Him, persons like us cannot understand how to get out of that illusory energy. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who is the cause of creation and annihilation. So, even Lord Shiva is saying that without the favor of the Supreme Lord, no one can get out of this material world. Krishna says, Devi hi esha gunamai mam maya duratyaya mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etyam taranti te. That surrender unto me to get cross beyond this material energy, which is very difficult to overcome. And Lord Shiva is saying the same thing. Without the mercy of the Lord, we cannot get out of this material world. And he himself is offering obeisances to Lord Krishna. Yeah, here Prabhupada is mentioning this verse, Bhagavad Gita 7:14. This divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. All conditioned souls working within the illusory energy of the Lord consider the body to be the self, and thus they continuously wander throughout the universe, taking birth in different species of life and creating more and more problems. So, what we are doing is we are thinking we are the body. We completely forgotten we are the soul. So, our energy, our intelligence is all uh, encompassed, it's all consumed with this consciousness that I'm the body. So, how can I serve the body? How can I be happy in the body? That's our whole being is in this. And because of this, we are taking one body, giving it up, taking in another, in different species of life. And in this way, we are wandering in the universe, wandering, creating more and more problems because we have to act. Every activity gives us a reaction. And for that reaction, we have to again take another birth in the material world. Sometimes they become disgusted with the problems and seek out a process by which they can get out of this entanglement. Unfortunately, so-called research workers are unaware of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his illusory energy. And thus all of them work only in darkness, never finding a way out. So in frustration, one may say, because there is so much suffering, one is suffering so much in frustration, one may say, oh, well, nothing is real, everything is false then. Because there's no knowledge of God. So-called scientists and advanced research scholars are ludicrously trying to find the cause of life. They take no notice of the fact that life is already being produced. What will be their credit if they find out the chemical composition of life? All the chemicals are nothing but different transformations of the five elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. If we see whatever we are producing in our factories and our industries, it's just a combination of these elements. They may be very complex to produce, they may be very sophisticated, but it's just these five elements. They're combined in different degrees. Just as the primary colors, then these primary colors are combined in different proportions, and then there's so many different colors. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.20, the living entity is never created, na jayate mriyate va kadachin. There are five gross material elements and three minor material elements: mind, intelligence, and ego. And they are eternal living entities. The living entity desires a type of body, and by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that body is created from material nature, which is nothing but a kind of machine handled by the Supreme Lord. So here it's based on our desire. The living entity desires a certain type of body. So based on our desires and of course our karma, we get a certain type of body. And this body is like a machine. Machine, this is given to us, but is controlled by Krishna. The Lord gives the living entity a particular type of mechanical body, and the living entity must work with it according to the law of fruitive activities. Fruitive activities are described in this verse, karma parvani mayam. The living entity is seated on a machine, the body, and according to the order of the Supreme Lord, he operates the machine. This is the secret of transmigration of the soul from one body to another. The living entity thus becomes entangled in fruitive activities in this material world. So we are given this machine because we have a desire. So we can sit inside this machine and we have to work. Krishna says, without work, we cannot maintain ourselves. So we work. But what happens? Every work gets a result. There's a reaction to it. Every action has a reaction. So like this, we keep on acting, keep on doing so much activities, and then we keep on getting more and more reactions, more and more bodies. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 5.7, Manasasthani Indriyani, Prakriti Sthani Karshati. The living entity is struggling very hard against the six senses, which include the mind. So this Karshati is struggling, We may think we are enjoying. Many of us don't even know maybe that we are suffering. One may say, what do you mean suffering? No, I'm enjoying. One may not even know one is actually suffering, whereas another may understand he's suffering, but suffer we must because that's the nature of the material world. So it's not to draw a depressive kind of a mentality, but just to understand things as they are. But of course, sure, we do have temporary enjoyment. It's temporary. It comes, it goes, it comes, it goes. So the struggle is that we are trying to imitate God. That's our struggle for existence. In all the activities of creation and annihilation, the living entity is entangled in fruitive activities, which are executed by the illusory energy Maya. He is exactly like a computer handled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The so-called scientists say that nature acts independently, but they cannot explain what nature is. Nature is nothing but a machine operated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one may say things are that nature is independent, it rains whenever it wants, the sun shines, but actually it's all being under the control of Krishna. It's all under Krishna's control. This material nature is also a machine. When one understands the operator, his problems of life are solved. We can see everything as a creator. Any small thing we look as a creator doesn't just manifest by itself. Our day-to-day things, our phone, it just didn't fall from the sky. There's a creator. Whatever we use, our TV, our laptops, our clothes, there's somebody creating all this. So similarly, this nature didn't just pop up by itself. There's a creator. And when we try to understand the creator, then we can actually find a solution to our problems. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.19, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvam Iti Samahatma Sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me. Knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is, such a great soul is very rare. So Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, a sane man therefore surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus gets out of the clutches of the illusory energy Maya. So the Mahatma, he understands that the Supreme Lord, he is the ultimate controller, and he surrenders to him. Thus, in the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 5th canto, 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Descent of the River Ganges. So this is the prayers that we are hearing by Lord Shiva. Any comments, questions?
Wow. Like, again, right? The same things are being repeated so that we don't forget how important it is, our
Yeah,
desires.
yeah.
And
And again, as you
yeah,
said rightly, that we are reminded that who's the creator, who's the creator. We are in the
yeah,
material world,
world,
but we
yeah.
forget.
And like,
It's
it
a
was
very
also really beautiful that we are just the machine. Oh my God. And we treat other machines as, like we think, oh, we are something superior and I am handling a machine, but we are also being handled in the same way.
Hmm. Yeah, nice. Good observation. Yes. Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I'm just wondering about it's based off our desire and our karma. We repeated our life again and again, right?
Yes.
But what about the trees, the mountain, the rivers? Like they don't have mode of nature, like 3 mode of natures: goodness, passion, and ego, yeah, ignorance, whatever. So how about these? Because we read before, these are also one of in 84 million species, right?
Yes. You mean the
So how?
trees and the
Yeah,
birds and the
river.
animals?
Yes, tree,
Yes.
rivers, mountains.
Well,
So
the river, wait. River is water.
mm,
Water is not living. Water is a material element. It's not a living entity.
But
You
I
have to
read it,
understand.
but I read it like these are also a type of species within 84 millions birth and death.
Aquatics, yes, the living entities inside the water. So the fish, the different types of
So like water
uh,
creature.
water creatures, yes, those are the living entities. Water is not a living entity. Water is one of these 5 elements of the material world. But the living entity is the fish inside. Yes.
Mm.
So then, how they are going to go to different life, that
Mm.
is all coming under the laws of material nature, from lower consciousness to higher consciousness. So what happens? Only in the human form, we have a choice how we want to act. Well, choice is always there, but we have a higher higher, what do you say, that
Like
we can
what we think
exercise
we
our choice.
execute. Yeah, what we
Execute,
think we
yeah, we can
execute.
execute
Yes.
our choice. That's right.
Yes.
Now, when we
Mm.
make a wrong choice, we may become a
Mm-hmm.
fish.
Mm.
Okay, then
Oh.
with that, then comes the evolution, the cycle. From aquatics will come reptiles, will come animals. The consciousness will gradually evolve. Then it's just the law of material nature. It's the law. And then
Because
gradually evolve.
fish don't have desire. Like even if they maybe they think, but they cannot execute based on their
Exactly.
nature. So how they
Exactly.
change based
No,
off
so that's why they
recycle?
don't have karma. So they don't create karma.
Uh-huh.
So they don't get either good karma or bad karma. That is only in the human life, because we
Yes.
can have the consciousness to choose. So
Uh,
then what happens? One automatically goes into that cycle. Now we have to see what is that cycle. That from lower
okay.
consciousness gradually comes to the higher consciousness. Really from
Hmm.
the very, very dull, which may be like stones, then coming to aquatics, then coming to trees, then coming to reptiles, worms, then coming to four-legged animals, like that,
Oh,
gradually,
okay,
gradually.
okay. Okay, okay, okay.
Then finally, one will come to human life again. That's the reason so much importance is given to human life. Because once
Hmm.
we lose this chance of human life, if we again become animal or a tree or a
Hmm.
bird, then
Hmm.
again, so many lives we have to take in so many different species.
Hmm. Okay,
That's
okay.
the reason. Yes,
Like I
very
was
good
curious
question.
about
Thank you.
this, like how
Yeah.
they all will liberate. How? What was the process? What is the process to execute?
Then again, they have to come to human life.
Oh, so it's so suspicious. Everything is you cannot like even imagine. बहुत depth है. Like you need to uh, understand very deeply. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see it's very scientific.
Yeah, scientific is okay. We are reading Darwin theory and whatever, like it's changing. But when you go with spiritual, like,
No, I'm saying spiritual knowledge is very scientific. Spiritual knowledge is very depth, very in
yeah.
depth.
Hmm.
Yes.
कभी कभी मतलब कंफ्यूजन हो जाता है कुछ समझ में नहीं आता
हाँ, वो तो है। तो क्योंकि पर फिर क्या करना है? फिर वी हैव टू कंटिन्यू रीडिंग। समझ में नहीं आएगा, स्टिल कीप रीडिंग, आस्ते आस्ते फिर समझ में आ जाएगा।
समझ में आएगा हाँ
हाँ, जैसे कुछ अगर कुछ केमिकल कंपोजिशन भी कुछ स्टडी कर रहे हैं हम मैथ में, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, फिर वापस वापस वापस
yeah
वापस
do it again and again yeah you will get
फिर समझ में आ
finally
जाएगा।
yes
Yeah, so same spiritual knowledge. Keep hearing. We have to keep hearing because we are not able to understand it the first time. So that's why we need repeated hearing.
Yes, very true. Very true.
Yes,
But
thank
like,
you. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Just
Yeah,
one more
like,
question, Shilpa ji. Sorry,
Yeah.
Ratna, आप पूछो
Yes,
पहले.
Neha.
नहीं
Yeah.
आप पूछो क्वेश्चन नहीं था मेरा.
नहीं, it is just that जैसा आपने बोला that if the living entity is in the body of a dog, so that means that until his lifespan is there, that many years he will live, right? There is
Yes.
nothing at. It's जितना उसका लाइफ स्पैन है, जैसे कि एक डॉग का 13 years है लाइफ स्पैन, तो
हाँ,
वो 13
12 to
साल जिएगा, then the dog will die. Then वो दूसरे उसमें जाएगा, तो उसका जितना लाइफ स्पैन होता है वो उतना जिएंगे, and then they
transform to
just
other
evolve.
body.
They keep on evolving, right? That's what you meant by
Right.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah, they
think,
keep on
yeah.
evolving. Yeah. It's
Yeah, right.
true.
That's what it means. Ke only then after that, like after become the cow, then you become the human, right? From the cow, you take birth as a human.
Cow, we heard that time, goodness, cow,
Yeah.
passion is passion, lion, and monkey,
Monkey.
ignorance.
Yes.
Right. आपने तीनों, so from cow, then we become the human. Is it?
Human.
From cow, yes.
Yeah.
Those who are coming in the mode of goodness, they will have the birth of a cow. Those who are coming in the mode of passion, they will first have been a lion, and from lion they're becoming
Okay.
human being.
After lion, they will become human. Okay.
Yeah, and then monkey, then become human being. So you see, we can understand that the nature's laws are very complex actually.
Complex. Yes.
Yeah, किसका कितना karma है, किसको कितने
Yeah,
जोनी में
nobody
कितना
knows.
रहना है. It's very complex for us to completely understand the laws of nature. If we have to try to understand, how much time one has in this particular body,
Particular
or
body.
this,
Yes.
what kind of situation one is going to go through. Because if you see now dogs, there are also in different situations, each dog.
Yeah.
Not all dogs are in the same situation,
Yes. Very
right?
true. Yeah.
So then,
Like it
so it's
doesn't
very
matter.
complex.
Yeah.
Huh?
Like the time is not fixed. Even the age is fixed for the particular body, but it is
Yeah.
not fixed. Who will
Yeah.
live when nobody knows. Yes.
Yeah, it's all controlled by higher powers. We are not
Power.
able to
Yes.
understand. Higher
Yes.
power, those who are in charge of this, जिसका charge है, उसको फिर पता है, oh, ये जीव ये body में इतना time रहेगा, he has to go through this. Like Yamraj, he's
Yes.
probably keeping an account, and all these things are going on.
No, but
So
even the
that's why we
dog,
have.
like as you mentioned, that dog bee, you never know. Some dog stays in a house with a rich man, and some dog is on the street. So we don't know. Like it is
Exactly.
already so complex.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying, that you may be in one species, and yet, because again the laws of karma are complex, they're so intricate, depending on each individual soul's karma, even though one individual is in the same species, each is having his own experience.
Perfect. Makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Even while discussing about it, I'm trying to understand it, It's not that we generalize everything.
Yeah.
It's like, based on so individualistic.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so chapter 18, the prayers offered to the Lord by the residents of Jambudvip. So we just read the prayers offered by Lord Shiva, and now we are going to hear about the prayers offered by the Jambudvip Vasi, residents of there. In this chapter, Sukadev Goswami describes the different varshas of Jambudvip and the incarnation of the Supreme Lord worshipped in each. So we heard there were 9 varshas, right? And then each had expansion, incarnation of the Supreme Lord. So the predominating ruler of Bhadrashva is Bhadrashrava. He and his many servants always worship the incarnation known as Lord Hayagriva. At the end of each kalpa, when the demon Agyan steals the Vedic knowledge, Lord Hayagriva appears and preserves it. Then he delivers it to Lord Brahma. In the land known as Harivarsha, the exalted devotee Prahlad Maharaj worships Lord Nrsimhadev. So this is where Prahlad Maharaj is staying, Harivarsha. The appearance of Lord Nrsimhadev is described in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Following in the footsteps of Prahlad Maharaj, the inhabitants of Harivarsha always worship Lord Nrsimhadev to receive from him the benediction of being engaged in his loving service. So not only Prahlad Maharaj, but all the other inhabitants are also worshipping Lord Nrsimhadev. In the tract of land known as Ketumala Varsha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Rishikesh, appears in the form of Cupid. The goddess of fortune and the demigods living there engage in his service day and night. Manifesting himself in 16 parts, Lord Rishikesh is the source of all encouragement, strength, and influence. The conditioned living entity has the defect of being always fearful, but simply by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can rid himself of this defect of material life. Therefore, the Lord alone can be addressed as Master. So we living entities, we are fearful. We are fearful. Why? Because we forget. We forget our relationship to Krishna. That's what makes us fearful. And when we remember him, then we can become fearless. And that's the reason only Lord Krishna, only God is a master. In the tract of land known as Ramyak Varsh, Manu and all the inhabitants worship Matsya Dev to this very day. Matsya Dev, whose form is pure goodness, is the ruler and maintainer of the whole universe. And as such, he is the director of all the demigods, headed by King Indra. In Hiranmaya Varsh, Lord Vishnu has assumed the form of a tortoise, Kurma Murti, and he is worshipped there by Aryama, along with all the other residents. Similarly, in the tract of land known as Uttarakuru Varsh, Lord Sri Hari has assumed the form of a boar, and in that form he accepts worship from all the inhabitants living there. All the information in this chapter can be fully realized by one who associates with devotees of the Lord. Therefore, in the Shastras, it is recommended that one associate with devotees. This is better than residing on the banks of the Ganges. In the hearts of pure devotees reside all good sentiments as well as all the superior qualities of the demigods. In the hearts of non-devotees, however, there cannot be any good qualities, for such people are simply enchanted by the external, illusory energy of the Lord. Following in the footsteps of devotees, one should know that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the only worshipable deity. Everyone should accept this proposal and worship the Lord. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Vedascha Sarve Aham Eva Vedya, the purpose of studying all Vedic literature is to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So here we are understanding that association with the devotees. In the association of devotees, we can also develop our devotion to the Lord. Because we take on the qualities of the people that we associate with. Devotees have devotion. So if we associate with them, we can also revive our devotion for the Supreme Lord. So in Bhagavad Gita, Vedascha Sarver Aham Eva Vedya, the purpose of studying all Vedic literature is to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. If after studying all the Vedic literature, one does not awaken his dormant love for the Supreme Lord, it is to be understood that he has labored for nothing. He has simply wasted his time. Lacking attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he remains attached to family life in this material world. So we can see that what is the purpose of studying the Vedas? One may say one has studied the Vedas, but how can we know if one has actually studied the Vedas, if one has actually understood the Vedas, when he is revived his love for Krishna, when he has revived his devotion for the Supreme Lord, when he's engaged in worshipping the Supreme Lord, in hearing and chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord. Because all the Vedas are for that, to help us understand God, to help us understand, revive our love for God. Vedascha sarver aham eva Vedya, Krishna said. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. So thus the lesson of this chapter is that one should get out of family life and completely take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So then does it mean that one who is in family life, one has to prematurely abandon the family and, artificially renounce? No. Then we have to try to understand how Arjuna wanted to renounce. Krishna said, no, you do your duty. You do it for my pleasure. Lord Chaitanya tells the Brahman who wanted to follow him, he said, I want to give up my family, I want to follow you. Lord Chaitanya said, no, you will serve me by taking good care of your family and at the same time hearing and chanting about Krishna, speaking to everyone about Krishna. So, because if we prematurely change our position, if we have not actually cleaned our heart, then it may not be very good for others and for us and for others. So Lord Chaitanya says, you stay wherever you are. You just simply begin to hear and chant. Hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we're going to begin with the first text, Shri Shukha Vacha.
Shri Shukha Uvacha.
Thacha Bhadra Shravanama Dharma Sutastat
तथा च भद्रश्रवानामा धर्मसुता तत्कुलपतय
Purusha Bhadrashva Varshe Sakshat Bhagavato Vasudevasya Priyam
पुरुषा भद्रश्ववर्षे साक्षात् भगवत वासुदेवस्य प्रियाम्
Tanum Dharm Mama Yim Hayasheshabhidanam Parmena Samadhina
तनुं धर्ममयीं हर शीर्ष अभिधानां परमेण समाधिना
Sanidha Yedam Abhigrananta Upadhavante.
साधिधाप्य इदम् अभिग्रहतः उपधावन्ति.
Sri Shukadev Goswami said Bhadrashrav. Bhadrashava, the son of Dharmaraj, rules the tract of land known as Bhadrashva Varsha. Just as Lord Shiva worships Sankarshan in elaborate Varsh, Bhadrashava, accompanied by his intimate servants and all the residents of the land, worships a plenary expansion of Vasudev known as Hayashirsha. Lord Hayashirsha is very dear to the devotees, and he's the director of all religious principles. Fixed in the topmost trance, Bhadrashrava and his associates offer their respectful obeisances to the Lord and chant the following prayers with careful pronunciation. So Lord Shiva was in elaborate Varsh, worshipping Sankarshan. And here who are we reading about?
Bhadrashva Varsh.
Yeah, Bhadrashrava is there, and he is residing in Bhadrashava Varsh. And who is he worshipping?
Haya Shirsh. Bhagwan Haya Shirsh.
Yeah, he is worshipping Hayashish. And who's the father of Bhadrashrava?
Dharmaraj.
Dharmaraj is Yudhishthir, right?
No.
Dharmaraj
Yam,
is
Yamraj.
son. Yes, Dharmaraj is Yamraj. That's right. Yudhishthir is also the son of Dharmaraj.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So
Yudhishthir is
Ilavrat,
called Dharmaraj Putra. Huh?
sorry, you continue. I'll say later. First you continue.
I know. Done. Yes, please.
So I'm asking that Ilavrat was our Varsh, right? Bharat Varsh was Ilavrat.
Huh?
Ilavrat Varsh, what we were reading before, where Shivji is offering his prayers to Sankarshana, was
Yeah.
falling in Bharat Varsh, I remember. No, we were in the Ilavrat Varsh.
This is Jambu Dweep also, like Bharatvarsha name is Jambu Dweep
Yeah.
also.
Everything is coming in Jambudvip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
every
Description.
Jambudvip,
yes.
9 are in Jambudvip. No, 9 Varshas are in Jambudvip.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
You
then
want, we
one
can
Varsh.
read it again. I don't remember exactly now. And if you want, we can read it again. We read about Meru, and then there were these different mountains. You want to, so maybe it's one of this one, description of Jambudvip. You want to know which is Ilavrat and Bharatvarsh, like that?
No, I'm
Is
just
it?
saying that they are same or are they different? They are
That's
the 9 Bhagwan Vasudev, Shri Shankarshan.
on the southern side, known as Ilavrat Varsh, are mountains. Okay, and Bharat Varsh. Okay, south of Ilavrat Varsh.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it's
mark
written
the
like if
boundaries of three Varsh, Hari Varsh, Ilav, Akim Purush, and Bharat Varsh. No, so it's a different. Ilavrat
different,
Varsh
different. Yes,
is
yes.
Okay, yeah.
different than Bharat Varsh.
Yeah, I just wanted to know that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So they're
Yeah,
two different. In the Elaborate, Shivji is with
yes,
Ma Parvati praying to Lord Vishnu. Okay, yeah, perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. So then going out to second, Bhadrashravasva Ucha.
Bhadrashravasya Ucho.
Om Namo Bhagavate Dharmaya Yatma Vishodhanaya Nama Iti.
Om Namo Bhagavate Dharmaya Atma Vishodhanaya Nama Iti.
The ruler Bhadrashrava and his intimate associates utter the following prayer. We offer our respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all religious principles, who cleanses the heart of the conditioned soul in this material world. Again and again we offer our respectful obeisances unto him. Foolish materialistic persons do not know how they are being controlled and punished at every step by the laws of nature. They think they are very happy in the conditioned state of material life, not knowing the purpose of repeated birth, death, old age, and disease. So this is what we don't even know that we are suffering. We don't understand that we shouldn't be in a material body. We should be in our spiritual body. We don't understand why should we get disease? Why should we get old? Why should we have to die? Why should we have to be born? But we like to celebrate birthdays, of course. But at least death, old age, disease, we don't even question it. And because why birthday we celebrate? Because we've forgotten how the suffering was that when we were pushed out of the mother's womb, how that ordeal was, we forgot it. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita 7:15, Lord Krishna describes such materialistic person as mudhas, rascals. No mam dushkritino muda prapadyante naradama. These mudas do not know that if they want to purify themselves, they must worship Lord Vasudeva Krishna by performing penances and austerities. This purification is the aim of life. So one may say, how can Krishna call me a Mudha? But we have to understand that Krishna is kind, loving father. Just like a child, one child is so naughty. He's so naughty. Then sometimes we may raise our voice or we may say something just to get the child's attention. What are you saying? So Krishna is saying that to understand him is the purpose of life. To revive our love for him is the purpose of life. That to worship Lord Krishna is actually our duty. This purification is the aim of life. This life is not meant for blind indulgence and sense gratification. In the human form, the living being must engage himself in Krishna consciousness to purify his existence. Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhaye. So austerity, penance, all that is performed to revive our Krishna consciousness, not for any other purpose. And this is the instruction of Rishabdev to his sons. In the human form of life, one must undergo all kinds of austerities to purify his existence. So we can see the austerities are not that we ask for greater ways of sense gratification, but that's what we do. We say, I'll do this austerity and then I'll ask for more comfort. But actually, the reason we need to do austerity is so we can understand, we can purify our heart, we can understand that we have a relationship with Krishna. And that also, we are not advised to do very difficult austerity. It's not that, we have to torture the body or anything. No, we are doing simple austerities. Hearing and chanting is also an austerity. So Yasmad Brahma Saukyam Tva Ananta. Hearing and chanting about Krishna. Austerity. Yasmad Brahma Saukyam Tva Anantam. We are all seeking happiness, but because of our ignorance and foolishness, we cannot know what unobstructed happiness is. Well, for the devotees, it's not an austerity to hear and chant. The devotees, they love to hear and chant. So unobstructed happiness is called Brahma Saukya, spiritual happiness. Although we may get some so-called happiness in this material world, that happiness is temporary. The foolish materialists cannot understand this. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj points out, Maya Sukhaya Bharam Udvahato Vimudha, merely for temporary materialistic happiness. These rascals are making huge arrangements, and thus they are baffled life after life. Maya Saukya Bharam Udvahato Vimudha. This is what Prahlad Maharaj is saying. Rather, we should find Brahma Saukya. We should try to experience Brahma Saukya, spiritual happiness. Any questions, comments?
Just one question. So the Bhadrashravas is offering these prayers, right?
Yeah, that's right. Bhadrashama, along with his associates, they're offering the prayers. Lord Krishna to Hayashirsha, the Lord in his incarnation is Hayashirsha.
So though he is in the different verse, but the problems are same. He's also offering the same prayers.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good observation. Yes.
So even in this verse,
yeah,
same problem.
very good. Yeah, because it's still in the material world, although it's a higher planet, although it's a heavenly planet, higher, right? But the same problems, yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's good observation. Thank you. Thank you. So we'll stop here. Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.